Let's go.
Hello, everybody. Oh God, still got my mask on. How is everybody today? Happy New Year to everybody. Hope you're all well. Louise, say whatever. Auto.
Happy New Year, everybody.
Happy New
2022.
Year. What a year it's going to be. We hope everyone's okay. Can you hear us all? Despite how many weeks notice we have for these Q&As, I'm always rushing, sorting things out.
I wasn't
and
today.
You? Well, no, you haven't been down here. You've had nothing to think about apart from just doing what you were doing.
Yeah, that's true.
So everyone can hear. Wow, look at Louise. Yes, she looks lovely with glasses, doesn't she? With her glasses on. She really does.
I've been looking at some things close up, and I can't do that. I think I'm getting to that age where if I've got my contact lenses in, I can see things over there. Oh, shut up. But then I can't see things here.
Yes.
And then it goes kind of in and out. But if I've got my glasses on, I'm doing this now all the time to see and then see close and then see far away and then say, that's one step away from varifocals, isn't it? It's not
you don't want to go down that route, do you?
But if I have to, I don't care. I can see.
I've had varifocals.
I couldn't care less if they make me see, honestly.
Varifocals are awful. I've tried varifocals and it's like you're like, not that I know, but on a trip.
You've got to, best trip. You've got to persevere with them though, haven't you?
I did have them for a week and I went back and said,
a week. So you give it a good old try then, obviously.
I did try.
Hey, Maud, I can still throw you out. You're getting old now. Hiya, John.
So
thanks for joining us.
Everyone, thank you very much for joining us today. Do we need to say anything before we start?
Yes, before we forget, we're going to talk about the workshop for this month because we owe you a workshop. For
December's workshop.
For December. We still owe you December's workshop and yeah, so I'll let you explain what we're going to do.
And this was, yeah. So we...
happy birthday, Victoria, as well. And thank you for your photo. It was Victoria's birthday. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear Victoria. Happy birthday to you.
Hey, well done, Andrew, well done, Louise. What am I doing? Workshops, yes. So we're going to give you a workshop in December. We were going to do the last Monday of each month?
Yes.
We didn't do it in December because it was Christmas and the holiday season. We were busy, you guys were busy, so we decided not to do it then. We were going to do it the beginning of January. Like everything else, the year finished, this year started, and it's so busy. So what we're going to do is bring you...
Christine, happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear Christine. Happy birthday to you. So what we're going to do...
So what we're going to do is... bring you December's workshop this month, and then January's workshop the beginning of February, if that makes sense. The only reason being is that we wanted to give you a workshop next Monday, but we can't. So it's going to be the following Monday. It's going to be the last Monday of January, and then the next Monday we're going to give you the next installment of workshops. So we're going to try and pack all these workshops in. So do not fear, we're going to continue the workshops. And because we're bringing two workshops close together, we thought we would do a topic that we could incorporate in two workshops, one on a Monday and one the week after, just to try and get us all back on track, wasn't it?
Yeah. We said we'd do one every month, and we're a month behind, so we thought we'd pick a topic, a big topic we could split into two workshops.
And have them close together.
Yeah.
So...
Part 1 and Part 2.
So the workshop that we are going to do is a topic that I love, and I know all of you love as well, and it's something that I can talk the hind legs off a donkey
bore a glass eye to sleep talking about it, Andrew.
is soldering. So to spat them. Sorry. So excited. So
already.
So we're going to do. Sorry. Oh, where am I to? Here you go. So we are going to do soldering. So in 2 weeks' time, on Monday, we are going to have the first installment of soldering. This is going to take how many hours? 3 hours? Maybe 2 to 3 hours.
Yes.
And then we're going to do another workshop that's a bit more advanced techniques. So the first week we're going to talk about tools and equipment, basic techniques, really basic, and then the next workshop, more advanced techniques. And what we want you guys to do is to contact us and give us some soldering scenarios, some soldering problems that you may be having, so then we can address these problems as we go through the workshops. You may have problems with simple soldering. Yes, Louise?
Question. I can't remember what we decided about this, but we were talking about, because if you're not an At the Bench member, you can purchase the workshops independently.
Separately.
If you are a member, all the workshops are included in your membership.
Yes.
If you're not a full member, a full paid member, you can still purchase the workshops.
Yes.
So what were we going to do about the 2 parts?
We were going to have
yes,
we're going to have
instead of charging the full
15,
price for the 2, we were going to
you may do like
them
20 or 25 pounds for
rate.
2. Yes, because the same topic. It's not fair to have it. Yeah,
we don't like coercing people into buying.
No. Exactly.
When they,
so one payment will cover 2 workshops, basically.
Yeah, that's basically what I was trying to say in a nutshell.
Yes, Louise is going to crack on with getting the dates in a moment, and we'll come back to you in a little while with the exact dates. You should call the workshop Mind the Gap. Very good. I do like that. Mind the Gap in the workshop. Workshop 1, workshop 2. Mind the Gap, I guess.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah. Okay. So, so we want you to contact us.
Amco, yes. If you could send them to... Yes, sorry, you were going to say.
Yep. So all your questions, louise@andrewberry.co.uk. They may be simple, they may be complicated, there may be tools that you see and you want us to use. We can get all this together, so we can then produce these workshops, and then we will have the answers to your questions or to your soldering scenarios.
I just had a thought. Can we not? Send them there. It's easier. Yep. Sorry, I'm backpedaling now. I was thinking of making it.
You love a form.
Yeah.
No, you love your forms.
Yeah, but they're all in a spreadsheet then, and you can look at them and you can.
Yeah.
Rather than
just crack on with some emails.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Let's do it that way. I can just copy and paste them.
Joe. I think, is that the last, Horatio? No, it won't be the last 2 Mondays of January, because that would be next week and the week after. Next Monday, we are going to be busy. So yes, there'll
still be a Q&A.
There will still be a Q&A, but the workshops next Monday, it won't be. It'll be the last Monday and the first Monday then of February. Louise is just going to find that out now.
What dates
so
are they?
soldering.
Oh, that's my calculator.
So soldering, it's an amazing subject. I absolutely love it.
So we're looking at the 24th and the 31st of January.
Oh, I'm getting my black pen. So the 24th, Jan.
Yes, John. Lovely, lovely Excel. Can't get enough of it.
And
the 24th of January and the 31st of January, and I've just realised.
Oh, it's in January, is it?
I haven't checked with the mod. I've just thrown this out, and I'm so sorry, John. I haven't checked that you're okay for those dates. So
we can fit them in January then.
Yes.
I'll
talk to you later about it. Sorry, bro.
I thought we were going to. What are we doing here? I'm on new. Let's go on to that one.
The 18th, the 17th was a no-go, wasn't it? But the 21st. The last 2 Mondays, yes, it is Horatia. Yeah.
Yes, you were.
Yes.
Woo! Yeah. You were right. It is the last 2 Mondays. I didn't think we could actually squeeze them in, to be honest. But yes, that's good.
It's good, and it'll just fall nicely then, because we're back on track then for February. But it'll just be a single workshop on the last Monday of the month.
Yes, absolutely.
Yes.
Yeah, keep talking. I gotta find my black marker a minute. That's you. Keep talking.
Oh, me. Okay, keep talking. Yeah. So that should work out. Okay. So we need. I know we had a form with some topic suggestions on for the next workshop, which would be this workshop, but we thought soldering would be a perfect topic really to split into 2 parts, because we owed you a guys a workshop. So we still need suggestions for the February workshop.
We do have quite a few, don't we? I don't know where my marker's gone, but we do have quite a few suggestions already, because we do want your suggestions for the workshops, because we can my marker. We can work away at what we want to do, but it's what you guys want us to do.
What are you looking for, Andrew?
My black marker for the board here, but I don't know where that is.
Can you just write in blue?
I can.
Okay.
So that's the wrong word. So that's what all the workshops are going to be.
Hans is on holiday in Costa Rica.
Wow.
Nice, making us all jealous.
Oh, we're going to have to come to what David was talking about Scott McIntyre's book. Do I have Scott's book? Let me just put you back on you a minute. Let me see if I got Scott's book.
Okay, Beth is busy packing up a house. Finally going to get to move from North Carolina by surgery and then off to buy a house there. Oh wow, this is exciting. We're hopefully in the middle of buying a house and it's turning into an absolute nightmare.
It is.
Yeah. We found out this week, that we were all set to exchange and the bottom of the chain fell out.
And it all fell out all the way up the chain then, didn't it?
Yeah, so we were waiting to hear whether it's back on.
Tonight could be the night.
Yeah, absolute nightmare, isn't it?
That we will know.
First world problems, I suppose, isn't it?
We will know whether we sold the house. Anyway.
Yeah.
Right. I have Scott's book here. So, David, if you could just come along with the page number for that, I will have a look certainly in a little moment. Workshop on Gravers. Yes, we've got that written down already, but I will write it down. Write it down there. Bookshops. Okay. Okay, Louise. So, do you think that's all we need to say at the moment?
I think so. Yeah.
Cool.
I think so. Yeah, I've got some photos to show.
Good.
I'll hold on to them for a little bit, shall I? Yeah.
Please
Should we
do,
get on with
yes.
some questions?
Yes.
Okay.
It is. Whoa, wait for it. It is Monday, the 10th of January, 2022. Happy New Year to everybody. Hope you're all well. Here is the latest and the first Q&A of the new year. So, Louise, what would happen to be our first question?
Our first question is from Dylan. When bending a cuff/wristband from sterling sheet, does it need to be longer or shorter than the wrist size? I need to make a 6-inch when bent cuff with a 1-inch gap.
When you make it round, it doesn't become shorter. Yeah, so if the cuff needs to be 6 inches, you make it 6 inches. Is that what Dylan means?
I think so.
If you have to make a cuff and it's like a 6-inch circle and you want a 1-inch gap, well then you will make it 5 inches. But if the cuff or the torque, I've got this one here, so this would be like a torque bangle. So whatever this length is here is the right length that you would make it. Admittedly, when you come to make up rings, because the size is so small, you would perhaps make it that little bit, 0.5 millimeter, 1 millimeter bigger. But when it comes to bangles like this, it needs to be just the right size. So you'll make a 6-inch cuff. The length has to be 6 inch to go all the way around to there. Make it 6 inches. But if you are not allowing for the inch gap, then it has to be 5 inches. I think that's what Dylan means. Yep.
Oh, sorry, there was more. I plan on cutting detail into one 6-inch by 1-inch strip, then soldering onto another before bending, both at 20 gauge.
Yeah, that should be fine. Just crack on and do that. Yes, totally.
Okay, cool. It's not an odd question. No, it's good. It's a good question, Dylan. Thank you.
Good, yeah.
It's for my Native American friends and I don't want to mess it up. Oh, I'm sure it'll be fab. Send us a picture when it's finished. I'd love to see it.
Yes.
Cool. Okay. Oh, I've skipped to the end. Where am I? Tanya. Hiya, Tanya. When doing filigree work, do I need to use a smaller flame to stop the other bits from melting, please? Not tried this technique yet. Any advice?
Yeah, I would make sure that you have a little bit more of a bushier flame. If the flame is too hot, you're not going to be able to regulate the heat. And what you'll find is that if you've got, a nice thick wire here. Let me go onto my board cam. Number 6, board cam. So you've got your bit of metal here and you're putting in some little filigree work by here. Yeah, however you want to do it. This wire here is going to be really thin, but this wire here is going to be quite thick. Okay, so if you have a small hot flame and you put the flame in this direction by here, this is...
Sorry.
Is the husband there? But we're not watching, no one knows. So yeah, so this little thin wire here is going to heat up very, very quickly if you have a small hot flame. So by having a slightly bushier flame, and I can use my red now for this. If you have a nice slightly, here's your torch here, here's the flame, and it's slightly bushier, you're going to be able to heat this up, and this area around here is going to take a little bit longer to warm up, and you should be able to then to regulate the heat. If you come in with a hot flame, it's immediately going to heat up this small one and melt it before this has had chance. But a nice, softer, bushier flame should be just right, exactly what you need. That will help you avoid melting these small little areas of filigree. Let's have another question, shall we?
Okay. Kristen is saying, is there any way to stamp something on a back plate after a bezel is soldered to it?
No.
Okay.
Yes, there is. I can't spell workshops, Louise. Workshops. Number 6. So yes, yes, there is, because what you could easily come along with is something like this. This is okay. So we've got like a punch. Okay, and you could have it so this is the punch, okay? So this is the punch here, and you've got your bezel, and your bezel's upside down, okay? So here's your bezel here, upside down, so this is the back plate. You would put the bezel over the punch, so the punch is going inside, and it's resting inside here. Then you can come along, and then you can stamp what you want on there, providing the area is being supported. If I've got a spare bezel in here, I could quickly show you. No. So that would be the way I would do it. If you want to, you've made it up, this is the back plate, it's upside down, make sure you support it on a stake or a nice flat surface, put the bezel over onto the top, then you can stamp it. So it's a bit of a quick, stupid reply, Andrew, but that would be the best way to do it, yes. And providing the stamp, you can get the stamp, or whether like a punch like that, you can use the, or you could use sort of like your doming set of the disc cutter. You could use the ends of a disc cutter to go inside the bezel. You could use the ends of a doming block punches to go inside the bezel, and you should be able to use that with no problem at all. No problem at all. Louise, let us have another question, Louise.
Okay. Okay, Clay. Hiya, Clay. If I make a gold gran ring with diamonds, can I put it on the pickle, or will that damage the diamonds?
A gold
granulation.
Granulation. Okay. Yeah. No, you should be able to pop diamonds into the pickle, into the safety pickle, with no problems at all. Just make sure they're not too hot when it goes into the acid, or have it cold. Get your pickle, safety pickle, nice and warm. You can put them in there. The diamonds should be okay, and you should be able to answer that question.
I was going to say, I know peridot you can't put in pickle, and obviously opal, pearl, emerald probably.
Yeah, coral.
But is there anything else that we need to think
Amber.
about? Yeah.
I suppose any quartz I'd be very careful with. I wouldn't want to put anything like
because of the fishes,
like amethyst. I think, yeah, that's going to be a little bit too risky to put in there, to be honest.
I think peridot, it can be quite easily etched, can't it? I think that's the danger there.
Topaz.
So it's worth having a second thought before you chuck it in.
Yes, but something like rubies, sapphires, diamonds, you should be okay to put into the pickle, I would have thought. But obviously, please do take care.
Exercise caution, yeah.
Yes, absolutely. And if you're unsure, you can always buy Sally Spencer's book.
We've got it in stock.
We have.
Cool.
Sally Spencer's book. I'll get it now whilst Louise asks me the next question.
Okay.
Shout it out, Louise.
Okay, just getting it now. Victoria is asking, if a ring is sold as a diamond ring, but when tested it comes up as a white sapphire, would I have a leg to stand on?
No, you've misrepresentation if you sold it. Yeah.
What if you can prove it was sold to you as a white sapphire? As a diamond, sorry. Can you send it back to your supplier? Can you put what's it called? I can't think of the word, but
yes.
can you transfer
but then again, the onus is upon you, I would have thought, as you're the person selling it. It is up to you, I would have thought, to have responsibility to check the stones that are coming in. Because then if you're selling it as a diamond...
oh, she didn't know. It's my ring. I didn't sell it. Yeah, Victoria didn't sell it. Victoria's not done that. It's, yeah, Victoria's got the ring. It was years ago, and I may have the receipt. Yeah, I would... Certainly, if you've got the receipt.
Then there's no proof that stone hasn't been switched as well.
But then you could apply that to anything, couldn't you?
Absolutely, yes. But you obviously have a limited amount of time to take something back if it's not right.
It's just so annoying though, isn't it?
Yes, so if you've been sold it, and were you, wrong camera again, were you sold it as a diamond, and was the price reflected in that? What am I trying to say? Was the price the reflection of a diamond, or was it very, very cheap? And someone said, "Oh, it's a diamond." It's like things on Etsy, isn't it? They say things are diamond or things are gold. Then read the description, and they say, "Well, actually, it's gold plated." So I think it's very, very hard. And something if is a bit too cheap, but then there's obviously a reason why it is too cheap.
Yeah, it's a really difficult one.
I'm sure it's something to do with perhaps trading standards would be the best people to go to, I think, on that.
Yeah. Oh dear.
Not good though.
Because I did Kerry Gregory's Diamonds for Designer course.
Yes.
Last year.
Yes.
And that was brilliant. I found that really, really good, because now I looked with the loop before. It's very easy to get the diamond tester out, isn't it?
Yes.
But yeah, it's really, really good.
Yes. Again, if you get a chance to go on a course like that.
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, if you can, yeah. But yeah, I suppose if you're buying something, you would hopefully just assume. The other thing is, has it fallen in or ended up in the hands of somebody who's repaired it, or because if it's a sizable stone, I don't know, like.
There could be some foul practice coming into it, couldn't it, as well? Very tricky, but yeah,
it's not nice,
if you have all the receipts and everything, and you can prove everything to do with the sale, where you got it from, you may have a chance, I would have thought, to go back, but you'd have to check with trading standards, I would have thought. Or
never left my finger. There we are then, yeah.
Citizen Advice Bureau. So is it a white sapphire? Does it lack the luster? How would you know it's a white sapphire?
Diamonds that have been heat shielded test out as sapphires.
So double check it.
Yeah, if you can get a gemologist to look over it, like a fully qualified gemologist to look over it, that might be a good thing to do. Because if you can get a report to say it's not what they've sold it, then you're you're obviously in a stronger position again, aren't you?
Yes, absolutely, totally. And also, if you've got certification when you bought the stone, and that'll prove then it's the same stone as what it is in there now than it was when you bought it. All right then, interesting.
Tested with the testing machine, testing machines are
okay. Never 100%.
But yeah, they.
We had one, didn't we? We had one.
Using a testing machine is a bit of an art form on its own, though. You can do a whole training day on using a testing machine. So
we had a testing machine that was proven that a moissanite was actually a diamond. Loads and loads of times when we knew it wasn't. Yes.
Yeah.
So yeah, you do have to be very careful. As I said, a diamond testing machine is never 100% proof. The best thing to do is to learn how to identify diamonds with a loop.
There's so much you can just glean from your loop, definitely, more so than a diamond tester.
Do that. Yeah. Yes, so going back to the previous question, Sally Spencer's book, I think Louise has got a link to this on her Stream Deck, I do believe. The Jeweler's Quick Reference Guide to Working with Gemstones, £25, free postage. There it is there. Thank you so much indeed.
Victoria, keep us posted on that, because I'd be really interested to know what happens there.
Absolutely.
Don't slam.
Sorry.
Okay.
Next question.
Okay, where are we? Vicky from Liverpool, new topic. Is it true a jeweller's bench should be 90 centimetres?
It's traditionally 90 centimetres, 1 metre, 36 inches. It depends upon you.
It depends how big your torso is, really, doesn't it?
They all tend to be the same height. When you buy them, they tend to be the same height. But then it obviously depends upon, you know, the stool, how high your stool is off the floor. You may, as Louise said, you may have a long torso, short torso. You may have to put blocks on the legs to lift it. It may take a bit off, but there's always an ideal height. I find that this bench here is just a little bit too low. I would like this to be about 2 inches, 2.5 inches higher. For me, it would be come to this sort of level and I would be happy with that. I feel there's just that little bit. I should really just pull the lever here and go down a bit, but I'm as far down as I can go on my stool. So yeah, it should be a bit higher, but the peg should come to this part here, which is the sternum, I do believe.
I think so, yeah.
Yeah, so thank you very much. Yeah, I feel this a bit too low. I'd like it a little bit higher. Put a block under the wood, but yeah, 90 centimeters, 1 meter, 36 inches is a traditional height. But if you are vertically challenged, you may want it lower, or if you've got lanky legs, long torso, you may want it higher. So there is room for maneuver. Louise, let's have another question. Okay,
Susan is asking, have you ever used an old drill to center hinges for soldering?
You can do, yes, you can do. My favourite way of doing that is using graphite. You know your propelling pencil, like 0.5 millimetre, 1 millimetre thick leads. I tend to use that because you've got no chance of the solder. If you are soldering your hinges onto the pieces, there's no chance of the solder fastening onto the metal because it won't fasten upon to graphite, and graphite always stops solder flowing. So yes, I have done it, but my personal preference is the propelling pencil leads, because it doesn't matter whether they're B, HB, 2B, whatever, as long as they're the same diameter for the hole, or you can pack 2 or 3 in the hole to get the hinges and the knuckles correctly aligned. Yes. Yes, Louise.
Tiffany, hello lovely, is asking, so next 2 months of soldering, we're going to do a 2-parter, but it's going to be the last 2 Mondays of January.
Yes.
And then end of February will be a different topic again. It's a big subject, so we're going to split it into 2.
And if I think you are a regular viewer of our Q&As, remember we did that bit of a specialist Q&A, didn't we? But this time last year, or perhaps it was the year before even.
Oh, the 4 days of soldering.
The 4 days, yeah. The 4 days of soldering that went on, and it went on, and it went on. So we think a 2 day or 2 workshops to cover soldering should be just enough. But I'm sure we'll exhaust the time, not the subject. Let's have another question.
Any new videos in general for At the Bench coming?
Cyan Eid Siren. Favourite jury artist finally caught a live show. Hey, that's nice. Thank you very much. Glad you could join us. Sorry, I wasn't listening. I was just looking at the praise in the
Tiffany,
chat.
Yep, no problem, Tiffany. That's absolutely fine. New videos in general. Yep, lots of new videos in general on the way, and lots of other new stuff too. Yeah, don't blab.
I'm not going to say a word.
Okay. Void Masamune, sorry, I probably said that wrong. I'm having a silver casting issue. When I cast a piece of jewellery with a smooth surface, there ends up being small dents and lines that look white after pickling, polishing. Organic shapes are fine.
Okay, how are you casting these? Are you getting them cast? You delft clay? Are you cuttle fishing? Are you getting them sent away to be lost wax cast? Just let me know on that. And then
mostly having trouble with shapes that are smooth but curved. White lines and dents are still there after using a steel shot tumbler. Okay. On very organic shapes, you don't see it because it's already grainy, lost wax. Okay, so my first, just looking at that, don't use steel shot with a tumbler. When you have something cast, it is very tricky. You have a very flat surface. Say you have a gorgeous flat surface. Say you were casting a chunk, a square, okay, something of this sort of nature, right? And it has to be perfectly square, okay? What you will find, because the metal will shrink
because when the metal cools, it shrinks, okay? It won't shrink at the corners, it'll shrink at these points here. So your flat surface will end up slightly domed, concave, like that, okay? That is natural, so you'll never get a perfectly flat surface over a distance. It may be 5 mil, 10 mil, something like that. But if you're getting white lines, are they there when it's cast? It could well be due to, there's lots of things. It may be due to the flow of the silver entering the mold. It may go in and swirl, and as it's swirling inside the mold to fill, you may find it will cause like swirl lines, flow lines, something like that. Have a look at the waxes. Are the waxes perfectly smooth without any lines on? Because again, it could be due to faulty waxes. When you're injecting them, the wax may enter the mold. Again, it may swirl and leave slight lines. Have a look, excuse me a second. Have a look. When they are cast, have a look with an optivisor or a loop, check the surface. The one thing I would not do is put anything into a tumbler. I feel that it is not giving you the best finish for a piece. I would always come along with something, whatever it is, I would always use an emery board, some buff sticks, buff sticks like this, buff the surface, get the surface smooth, go through the various stages of buff sticks and the polish, and then have a look at the surface. Apart from that, without seeing them and without seeing your process, it's going to be really hard to come up with an answer. But sometimes it is due to the way the molds are made and the way the wax enters the mold to produce wax, or it could well be the way the silver enters the mold. You've got to be so careful not to produce too much turbulence inside a mold, and it must go in and just fill the mold without swirling around. So that could well be your problem. But without seeing the molds and what it's all like and your castings, it's going to be really, really hard. But there's quite a few areas there that you can look at and to see if that is the reason being. Louise, let's have another question.
Okay, David's got a question regarding the book, which
Yes.
I think you've got. Can
I've
you
lost it now.
explain? Oh, you lost it.
No, I got it. What page?
Can you explain what Scott McIntyre means when he explains about setting square corners, pushing perpendicular to the? I don't know. I forwarded it to you. Hang on.
You did. I did read it, but I needed the book, and I didn't have the book with me at the time. What page is it?
Push against the metal
Page 70. Oh,
perpendicular
gosh.
to where the push tool is, page 70 under step 4. So he says when we set corners, we have to make sure we push against the metal perpendicular to where the push tool is.
We have half past per
It's half
chance?
past.
Half past is Mrs. Lloyd. Sorry, Louise, let's go. Woo!
Oh, thanks, Mrs.
Thank you, Mrs.
Lloyd.
Lloyd. Nice to know you're still there. Yeah.
Right. So yeah, on page 70 under step 4, he says, when we set corners, we have to make sure we push against the metal perpendicular to where the push tool is. If you push over a little so that there is no resistance from the outer corner, so there's no resistance from the other corner, the edge will fold in on itself, causing all sorts. And let's face it, who needs more drama and chaos in their lives?
Exactly. I don't understand.
That was me saying that.
But I really don't understand what he means. The problem being, I love this book. It's a great book, but there should be images and diagrams of these steps, because it's very hard to describe something, and a lot of people work well with descriptions, a lot of people work well with images, and something like this would be so much easier if a little picture was drawn showing what he means by perpendicular and where on the corner. Is it straight on the end of the corner, or is it on either sides of the corners? This is really hard to understand. Time to hit the corners. Okay, when we set the corner, we have to make sure we push against the perpendicular to where the push tool is. What the hell does that mean? We push against the metal perpendicular to where the push tool is. Well, if you're pushing here on a corner, is that perpendicular? the edge will fold in on itself, causing all sorts of drama chaos. The idea is to compress the sides of the corner against each other rather than tucking under themselves. I'm sorry, but your guess is as good as mine. And if anyone can get in contact with that, whoa, we're off again.
Thank you.
Thank you, Full.
Thank you, Full.
Full, do appreciate it. Thank you so much indeed. Really do appreciate that. Every little helps. So yeah, this is the problem that we need to know. If anybody can get in contact with Vanilla Ink and Scott McIntyre up in Scotland and just draw me a picture so we know what he means. I don't understand what he means from the description. A picture would have been fantastic, but when you do come to bezel set corners, what you never want to do is burnish from the edge here. This is my stone now. This is my stone, okay? So I've just turned this into a stone now. So here's my stone within a bezel, okay, like that there. So remove that. We don't need that there just at the moment. So when you come to bezel set, what you want to do is what you don't want to do is start here, and I've said this before, and burnish this way, and burnish this way, and start here where you think it's easy, and burnish this way, and burnish that way. Because what is going to happen, here's your stone here, the metal is going to be burnished and it's going to be doing this, okay? And you're going to have a gap. And I see so many images on Instagram and on Pinterest where the corners of bezel set stones are atrocious. They need to be done in a different manner. Don't burnish from here to here because you're effectively stretching the metal. You're stretching the metal, and where's it going to go? It's going to go out, and your corner here is going to be terrible. And this applies to pear-shaped stones and marquee-shaped stones and the lot, okay? So that is what you do not want to do. What you want to do, and I don't understand Scott's descriptions, but I'm sure it's easy if you see a picture, is to start at this corner here, all right? What I would do is perhaps use a flat pusher and just use a flat pusher and push in this direction. So here is your stone here. Here is your bezel, like this. This is the corner. Square pusher here, and you just ease this over. Okay, a little bit like that. So then you'll have a bit of a flattened edge here. The metal will be coming in like that. That'll be flattened in. So you're effectively starting at the corner. Then you get your burnisher and you burnish this way to the middle. You put your pusher here. You push this metal over a little bit like this onto the corner, like that. Okay, then you burnish from here to here, and by doing that you're making sure that the metal does not stretch away from the corner. It gets stretched and pushed towards the side, where it's going to be a lot easier for you to burnish the metal over onto the stone itself. So I'm not quite sure what Scott means.
Does he mean you come in at that angle that you've said, but if you push too far,
this way or this way
there,
yeah.
But if you push too hard, so there's no resistance, you're pushing it into the bottom right hand corner, and then
you're pushing the whole thing collapses. Down there.
Is that what he means?
Don't know. I thought if you push here, you may be forcing it out down here.
Yeah, and then this is closing in on itself, the corner that you're applying the pressure to.
But you should.
And then it's just.
You should be going in that motion, rocking it over like that, just to ease that metal over slightly. And as soon as that metal has come over, you should be okay.
But you're not pushing till there's no resistance, or you shouldn't be, should you?
There's no resistance.
Yeah, if you push over a little so there is no resistance from the other corner. Oh no, I don't know. That's what I'm.
It's as I said, it's a great book, but it lacks more diagrams, especially when it comes to this, because it doesn't work. If someone's thinking of this and they can really think about it quite easily, and they're going, yeah, I mean this. But to try and translate it's going to be really difficult. So Scott, if you're watching, or someone can get hold of Scott, Vanilla Ink up in Scotland, just let us have some pictures, and I'm happily advertise you and the book and whatever on our Q&As, but let us know exactly what you mean. But that is how I would do it. I would get the corners done first, then I would, perhaps he means pushing it in this direction, in that direction, pushing it down that way, perhaps, and then come on this side and just push in that direction. I don't know. I really don't know. If anyone has the book, page 70, step 4, have a read. If you understand it, just please get in contact and I'll happily talk about this all over again on another day.
Okay, sorry David, but we will try and get some more clarification for you.
Please, yes, and we'll certainly get back to you on that, yes.
I think I've got your email address, haven't I?
Yes, can you email?
Great, so in fact,
can I make a note?
If you don't write that down, I will forget. So let's make a note of that.
How do you prevent chipping? When it comes to something like a cabochon, you should have no problems, okay? But if you're working with a faceted stone, then you're gonna have problems, okay? Because your stone is like that. So you've got a claw and you've got this, use your claw here. This is the corner. Here you may have a claw that's like this and you've cut a little seat there. You've cut a little seat there. Let's go on to camera 6. But you've got to be careful on these corners. And what I'd advise you to do is get a small little ball burr, and if you've got your, I'm going to try and draw this now and it's never going to work out. This is it, because I'm drawing that the wrong way. And no, not. Like that. Oh my gosh, Andrew. Oh, that's terrible. I need some more drawing lessons, Louise. What I would do is get a little ball burr and ball out that little area there. Okay, so here's your claw. And if you look at the, here's the seat for the stone. This is the seat. This is the claw, like that. Something like that. There we go. That's not too bad. So this is the seat for the stone. What I would do is be inclined to drill a small little hole, a ball burr in that corner like that. So there is no metal pressing on the corner of the stone. And if there's no pressure on that stone, you should be able to force the claw over onto the stone a lot easier, because you've only just got to put a bit of pressure on that corner of the stone and it will chip. So make sure when it goes in, there's a bit of a gap where that claw is. So the corner of the stone is within the hole. There's nothing touching that corner, and you should be able to set that corner much, much safer. Sorry, that was a bit of a workaround, but yes. There we go. Louise, let's have another question.
Okay, should we show a photo?
Ooh, we got
Do you want to see a
photos.
picture?
Yes, please.
I've got a really interesting one to show
Do
you.
you? Is it there? Is it there already?
It is here. 1 minute, please.
So yeah, we have got some lovely images of workbenches.
Nope.
I'll take that back.
I have got that to show you as well, but I'm going to show you Christine. No, sorry, not Christine. It's Krista. Krista's photo first.
Okay.
Now.
Are you ready?
Yes.
We're ready.
Oh, hang on. No, I'm in the wrong email now. Let me get the information up.
Just can't get the presenters. My overhead camera is not playing. Is playing at number 5. Plug that back in. There's that. It'll be in. It'll be on, Lou. It'll be on. It'll be on. Is it on your laptop?
Yes.
Good. I'll put it on there then.
I'm
Nice now.
to Krista, who's one of our regular Monday afternoon viewers.
Mm-hmm.
So Krista made this pendant after years of not knowing how to incorporate a circle of surgical steel into a pendant.
Oh, okay.
Which made me wonder, why surgical steel? So it turns out Krista had open heart surgery, replacing an aortic valve. After a year, a piece of steel wire pushed through my skin and had to be removed. So the surgeon was astonished that Krista wanted the piece of steel, and here it is. Encircled in gold with a stunning sapphire that has a greyish inclusion. When I wear the pendant, it covers the visible part of my scar.
Wow.
How amazing.
Look at that.
That wouldn't even occur to me, but how gorgeous is that? Yes, so Krista had the surgery in 2012, and the piece of steel was removed the following year.
Wow.
Only this year found the appropriate way of incorporating the circle of steel without soldering it. Everything was soldered before attaching the piece of steel, except for the last soldering of the bail, the pendant being submerged in water. How cool.
Brilliant, isn't it?
Yeah. I just thought that was so innovative.
It's cracking, isn't it?
Yeah, the imagination behind that is absolutely...
Brilliant.
Yeah.
Very good. Okay.
Oh, my macro.
Yes.
Is my macro not working? Oh, bloody hell, my battery's gone off.
Oh, Louise, you should be looking at this. Oh, you should keep an eye on your battery levels.
I know. Well, I find out on the chat, don't I? If
How's that?
Hello, my battery went.
You're not on.
Oh.
Oh, dear, dear, dear.
Oh, heck.
No, those aren't working either, are they? Yes, they are. There we go. You're on.
I'm back. Oh, you could hear me. Good, good, good. Lovely. I don't know if Kristas actually on. Are you here? Could you hear me? Victoria, you couldn't hear me. Basically,
are you still on? Are you on?
No, I'm off.
What's
You've turned me off.
No, I haven't turned anything off. Look at what's happening.
I don't know.
There.
Right.
Now you're on.
Now, okay. I don't
Try
know
again.
if I think some people didn't hear. Andrew is flashing his bottom. Yeah, he tends to do that. Okay, guys, can you hear me? The sound went still off. Okay.
What's it now?
Am I back?
You on now?
Oh, brilliant.
Yeah,
I know. Terrible. Great. Krista, are you there? Can you give me a wave if you are? Brilliant. Okay, that was working and picking. Yeah, okay. So yeah, Krista made this pendant out of a piece of surgical steel, which was repairing an aortic valve that she had surgery on in 2012. It ended up working its way out, and remarkably, she's made this gorgeous pendant from the little piece that I say little piece.
Big piece to me.
Yeah, how cool is that? Brilliant.
Very good.
Yeah.
I'm impressed with that.
So that's what I want. That's what I wanted to show you also. I hope you all got the story behind it. I think you did. Yeah, cool.
Should we have another picture?
Yes.
We do have another picture, and this time it is of a bench.
You give me 1 second.
Yes, you were okay with that. So Louise is going to find another picture. We got a picture of benches. We love benches, to see people's benches. It's a commitment on the pen. It is very good. Beth.
It is, isn't it? Yes, a long time in the making. Yeah, absolutely brilliant.
Yes, give this a thumbs up if you like it. Don't forget, where is the thumbs up, folks, as Beth just says. Thank you very much for that. But David, we'll come back to you with Scott McIntyre's question when we get some feedback from Scott. As I said, if you know Vanilla Ink, can't remember the lady's name, but Vanilla Ink up in Scotland, Edinburgh, I think it is, Scott McIntyre, give them a bit of a shout and come back to us on that, please, Scott. How are we doing, Lou?
Okay, I think, bear with me 1 sec, let me make sure I've got these. Yes, so this is Diane's happy place.
Hey,
so Diane got in touch with me this morning and sent me this lovely photo of her workshop. She said she doesn't want to wash her apron because she's afraid it will fall apart. And the first thing I said was that's exactly what an apron should look like.
They should look nice and worn and
knackered
out,
used. Yeah, absolutely, definitely. Well, yours, that's quite a tidy one, but it's got
this one's a fairly tidy one. This one.
What's the colour as well, isn't it? It's if it was any other colour.
Yeah, because we got these. We use these downstairs don't we? Do I have mine here? No, I took it off. And they become worn. Some people say you should never wash them because there's obviously bits of lemel that become ingrained in them, and you just take them off and you burn them. But my argument would you get more than like £20 worth of gold from an apron to make it worthwhile not doing it? I wouldn't have thought so. But
so I've got another picture.
Or just soak it in a bin. Another picture.
Yeah. So this is just another view of Diane's lovely happy place.
Nice, nice light.
Yes, what a lovely setup.
I love it.
So everything's to hand, brilliant.
I do like that.
Cool. I just love the apron. It reminds me of my dad's. I've seen my dad's painting smock. My dad's a landscape artist, and he's amazing. Yeah, and it's just like a full-on. Yeah,
it is completely.
Yeah, he's got
I love
his painting smock is very similar to that.
Yeah, but I do like the lights, nicely illuminated.
Yeah, plenty of light in there.
Very good, very good, very good.
Yes, and as Donna has just said, vanilla ink is now in Glasgow, so I was wrong.
Pardon?
Shh, I was wrong, okay?
Hang on, let me write this in my diary.
Put that in your diary as well. Come on, let's have another question then, Lou.
Okay, thank you, Diane, so much for sending in your lovely photos.
Really good. If anybody else has got any other pictures of their workshop or their benches you want us to see, whether you've got like a workbench hack, you've done something different, you've modified something, you've hacked it to bits, or you've made something from a Pringles tin for your workshop, whatever it would be, let us know. Let's have some pictures and we'll put you on our Q&A. Yes, Louise.
Okay. Mer is saying I generally use a 1.6 to 1.85 mil silver, and in theory I should use a grade 5 blade. Would you recommend this too?
Okay. If you place, I'll do a bit of advertising now. If you place an order on the At The Bench store and you spend over £20, you get one of our reference books. And let's have a look. I do have something on here to do with grades of saw blades, blade thicknesses, blade widths, teeth per centimetres, drill size, recommended metal. So was it 1.6 mil, did we say? 1.2. If you use a 1.6 millimeter thickness, you can use any blade. Okay, so ignore what I'm about to say. You can use any blade at all. Okay. Ideally, you've got to have a minimum of 3 teeth in contact with the metal. You've got your teeth that look like that, okay? 3 teeth that the blade carries on. You want to have 1, 2, at least 3 teeth in contact with the metal. That's the ideal, the perfect way, at least 3 teeth. If you have 2 teeth in contact, the saw blade is too coarse, you're going to have a few problems when it comes to piercing. You have 10, 8, 6 teeth in contact with the metal, the blade could go thicker. Alright, so according to my little chart here that you would get free if you place an order with the At The Bench store, atthebench.store, bit of advertising there for you. Grade 5, so it's a 5, it's a number 5 saw blade you would want. That goes from 1.3 millimeters to 2.1. You can also have a number 6 blade that will go from 1.6 to 3.1. Number 4 blade from 1 millimeter to 1.3. So really it's entirely up to you to use whatever blade you want to. Obviously, the finer the blade, the thinner the cut, the more teeth, the more it's going to wear out and the longer it is going to cut. But if you're looking at 1.6 millimeters, which is what that was the question, wasn't it? Mm-hmm. Yes, about a 5.
That's good, because somebody later on, I think, asked to be asked about different saw blades and when to use different sizes. Yeah, I'm a beginner working with silver. Explain the different size saw blades and when to use the different sizes. So yeah.
Yeah, I would always stick with the 3-stroke O. I'm really lazy, so I've got a saw here. I very, very rarely have any different size thickness blade. Mine is a 3-stroke O, perhaps a 2-stroke O if I'm pushed. And I use that for everything. If you've got a thin bit of metal, I would angle the blade forwards so there's more teeth in contact with the metal. But you can have a little container with all the different blades in. The thicker the blade, the more coarse the blade, the wider the blade, the thicker the metal that you need to cut. Very, very thin, delicate metal, so up to about 0.3 of a millimeter would be 8-stroke O. If you're doing something about 0.5 millimeter, 4-stroke O, 5-stroke O blade would be ideal. But if you want to buy one of these little charts, they're £2, or if you place an order on the atthebench.store for £20 or more, you get one of these little reference charts free, and it covers all sorts of things on it. It's a really good little reference chart that you can keep on your bench, on the wall by the side of you for reference. Yes, Louise, another question.
David is saying, hey from North Carolina, recently joined, I've been really enjoying watching your videos, learning some great new techniques, thank you. Vicky is asking, can I use a small torch to add a vine of leaves to a bezel?
Yes, I see no reason why not. If again, make sure that you've got a good soldering area, a nice reflective block or reflective board, that it isn't going to sap the energy out of the flame, the heat out of the flame. You want something that will reflect the heat back because you've only got a very small flame. But yeah, ideal.
Okay, Brianna is saying when soldering jump rings onto very thin chain, the chain gets very ugly. How do I polish the tiny chain and harden it again?
You wouldn't necessarily need to harden it. What I would be inclined to do is a bit of my saw blades. Okay, you have oh my goodness me. Oh, I could do that, couldn't I? There we go. There we go. So here is your soldering block, okay, here, this is your block. What I would do is have your chain running like this, and then there is your jump ring at the end like that, there. You want to be careful where you point your flame. If you have your flame pointing in this direction, or you have the chain running this way, there's a chance that you're going to melt the chain. So what I'd be inclined to do is to have the chain running this way. There's the jump ring here. So looking down on top of your block, here's your chain, there's the jump ring by there, all right? Then what you want to do is come along with your torch and point the torch away. So the torch is in this direction, okay? This direction, away from
Mike,
the chain.
your mic's off.
My mic's off now, is it? It is as well. What's happening, Louise? Everything's dying on us. Sincere apologies. What happens if you leave batteries in the equipment when you're not here?
Sorry, boss.
Does that one work? Yes.
Okay.
We're back. Okay. Honestly, what did they say about the best laid plans? Yeah, so that is what I would do. The flame is pointing away. The joint of the jump ring is over here.
Last year's batteries, David's, yeah.
Cheapskate. All right, so the flame is pointing in this direction. It goes away from, okay, then the chain is over here. Or what you can do, and what a lot of people do, it's a bit old school now, is have people use a razor blade, and you know the old-fashioned double-edged razor blades that sort of look like that, and there's like
it's not bad actually.
This is your sharpened edge, that's your sharpened edge. You have this gap here, so what you would do, you would have, and this is ideal if you're repairing chains. Okay, there's the jump ring there, or if you have another bit of chain like that, then you put the the razor blade over the area like this, so all then that is showing is like that, and there's the bit of the chain there. So this is protecting the rest of the chain from the heat, if that makes sense. But do it this way. Here's your joint on your jump ring over here. The flame comes in this direction, then you bring the heat from here, and you bring it onto the joint, so there is no heat down here at all. If you really want to be sure, put a pair of tweezers over the top of this. Put a pair of tweezers over the top, yeah, and there's your tweezers like that there, to protect the rest of the chain, and that makes sure. And there's no need to harden anything when it comes to that. General wear and tear and using the chain or the jump ring will harden it, and I wouldn't even bother trying to harden anything when it comes to that. And if you want to clean it, you want to get a nice brass brush. We call it a scratch brush. You could use a steel brush, but a nice brass brush, again, we sell them in the store. You would put the chain around your hand when it's all done up. You have the jump ring and the bit of chain that you've just soldered over this side here. Brass brush, hot soapy water, a bit of imperial leather I always used to use when I was a bit younger, or some pump dispenser soap now that you can use, and just go over the chain, and that will bring it up really, really nice. There we go. Is there another question?
Okay. I've got a question here. Is this somewhere I can hire out a workshop space with a kiln for a day or a few hours? I'm in the south of England. If not, what's the best starter kiln?
Okay, a starter kiln. I got my kiln, it's Prometheus is a very, very good brand kiln, but kilns aren't cheap. In the south of England, I don't know, yes, south of England, Metal Clay Limited, they sell kilns. I don't know whether they rent out space or rent out kilns, I really don't know. But Metal Clay Limited, they are down in Dorset, not far from Corfe Castle. Get in contact with them, tell them that I sent you to them. Naycraft is a good kiln, yes it is. I've got my kiln in the other place. I'll go and have a look now in one moment whilst Louise is going to ask me the next question. But yeah, Metal Clay Limited, not far from Corfe Castle in Dorset. They'll be able to certainly help with you for that. Merhinton, I use a Pulse Arc welder for my jump rings. They recommend a carbon brush. Would that work? I use a puck, a Lampert puck for joining my jump rings. All you need is just a little bit of spit, just gets rid of the carbon, and there's hardly any need to polish that up at all with that. Get yourself a nice little Lampert puck or an Orion welder, and you'll be able to join jump rings so easily. Louise, whilst you ask me the next question, I'm going to run into the room to find out my kiln name. So what is the next question?
Next question. Diane has some rough aquamarine. Can I set it in molten silver?
Molten silver?
Yeah.
No.
It's probably going to fracture or discolour, I'm guessing.
It is, yes. Paragon. Paragon is my kiln. Has a little bead door, has a little door, little glass in the door there, and it's ideal for doing enameling. You can also see what happens in the metal clay. But Paragon is a very good kiln, but Metal Clay Limited does have a lot of kilns there. Setting it in molten silver. No. What stone?
Aqua.
No, definitely not. It's not going to take the heat from the molten silver, I'm afraid. So no, that would be definitely a no-no.
Even the torch might make it go.
Yeah, I wouldn't even put aqua in near a torch. And it's so expensive as well.
Might end up with it shattering on you.
Absolutely. But there we go. Yeah, Prometheus, a brilliant kilns, and Metal Clay Limited are really helpful. As I said, if you approach Metal Clay, just to say that we recommend it. That'd be brilliant. There we go. Aqua reacts to heat. It does. Discolors above 400 degrees. Yeah. So another question, please, Louise.
Okay. Warren is asking, can you explain why solder breaks down?
You overheat it. Usually you can overheat solder. You can burn off the metals that are associated with the alloy that reduces the temperature. It will happen if you keep heating solder. It'll burn off all the other alloys, and so it will break down and it will not become solder. It'll become very, very brittle. So don't overheat solder. Try and only heat solder perhaps once. You don't want to try and reheat it, because again, you're tempting fate. You're putting more heat onto the piece. There's a chance that you're going to ruin it. So always try and heat the solder once if you can possibly help it. Absolutely. Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Do you want another question?
I do. I'd love one.
Please. Okay. David is asking, can you solder filigree without using the special filigree solder?
Yes. I'm not quite sure what special filigree solder you mean, but what you can do is get a big bastard file. Don't now, John. That is a technical term. If you're watching, bastard file. It's a file that is very coarse. I don't know why I'm turning around that way. Look at the board.
You can get bastard amber as well, can't you?
You can get bastard amber. Yes, you will. Yes, you could. Well, educating me now as well. Get a big rough file. Was he saying anything? No, he's fallen asleep, I expect.
No, he's too busy giggling to himself.
What you want to do is get your bit of solder, okay, over a piece of paper. Get your big bastard file here, and just, or if you don't have one of those coarse files, any file will do, as long as you've got a little area to catch the filings that come off. So get your solder, get your file, and just file over the top, and then the lemel, the bit that comes off, is going to be your solder, and you can use that mixed up with some flux to paint on the joints of your filigree. and that would be a brilliant way of doing it. Not necessarily buying special filigree solder, but just using your hard, your medium or your easy solder mixed up with a little bit of borax, and absolutely perfect. Yes, use your magnet after to remove any iron particles, but there really shouldn't be too many iron particles in it. But yes, good little tip that is. Louise, let's have another one.
You want another one? Okay.
Oh, it's 5 o'clock. Last question now. I think we're knocking off at 5 o'clock today. So this may be our last question. So let's have another one.
Okay,
please.
this is Sandra's question. Hi, Sandra. I'm about to buy a hammer handpiece for bezels and textures, but should I buy a better vise first? Chicken or egg? Also, duplex spring or not?
Duplex spring, I don't feel there's any need for duplex spring when it comes to hand pieces like that. I don't find there's any need for them. Adds extra expense and also extra weight. Especially Louise finds it really hard to hold onto the handpiece because you've got all this. If you have the duplex spring on it, it's going to add more weight again. No, you can use a hammer handpiece with something as simple as a ring clamp. As long as you can hold this ring clamp and hold it against your peg or against your bench like that, as long as it is steady, you can come along then with your hammer handpiece and use this. If you want to buy a vise beforehand, you can do, but I find there's no real need because something like this is going to be ideal. But if you are going to save up, get a Benchmade, a GRS Benchmade system. That is going to be an absolutely amazing piece of kit because then you've got two hands free. The Benchmade fastens onto your dovetail plates that you've got in front of you here. The piece goes in it and then you've got two hands free to maneuver. But yeah, buy your hammer handpiece, not a duplex spring, a normal one. A Fordham one is fine. If you're feeling a little bit flush, a Bedico, you could go for one of those because those are absolutely brilliant and we've got both here. But hold something nice and solid. Can't hold it in your hand and use a hammer handpiece, it's not going to work. Or you can slide it up onto a steel mandrel if you've got a ring and you can use the hammer handpiece there. As long as there's no give in the piece or the way you're holding it when you use the hammer handpiece, it should be absolutely fine. Thank you.
Excellent.
That's about it, I think. People are on here. Thank you very much. Tanya, I know that your order's gone out tonight. Really do appreciate that. The stores seem to be going from strength to strength. We may be even stocking some items that I don't necessarily, well, use myself, but I don't want to get into it, but there are other things that I do want to sell that I wouldn't sell tat, I wouldn't sell rubbish, only thing that I would stand by, basically.
Okay.
Adjustable saw frames.
I love these curveballs you throw at me in the lives, Andrew.
Adjustable saw frames. People are asking me for adjustable saw frames.
You're not going to start selling adjustable saw frames. You are. You will not, are you? Oh my gosh. Do you believe in this? Can you believe this?
People are asking me for adjustable saw frames because we only sell the fixed one at the moment.
But you keep saying how...
That's me personally. That's me personally, but everybody out there loves an adjustable saw frame. And I am not going to deprive you of the joy that you may get from an adjustable saw frame. Yeah?
We'll talk about this later.
Ooh. Yeah. I wouldn't sell any old bits and pieces, but adjustable saw frames, it is something that we can use. And I do occasionally use. And even though I do slate adjustable saw frames, people do use them to great effect.
They do use... we don't want to confuse people with these are the great things that we use every day. And then we don't use these, but you can have them even though we don't recommend them.
No, Michael, I'm not endorsing.
Can you believe it, Michael?
I'm not endorsing. Don't get me wrong, there is a difference.
Hypocritical, thank you, Victoria. Yeah, we'll discuss this later, Andrew.
Perhaps we won't be selling adjustable saw frames. We'll have to see how it goes tonight. We'll have a business meeting over a glass of wine later on this afternoon, this evening. Right, everyone, we're going to go. We're going to disappear.
On that bombshell.
On that bombshell. Mixed message. I know, Trevor, I do apologise.
Yeah, who's going to win, do you think, me or Andrew?
I have 5 downstairs in that box. Remember you showed that picture?
So that's why you want to start selling
I want to get, perhaps I may even give an adjustable saw frame away, you know. Who knows?
Oh, you don't hate anybody that much, do you? Don't sell them. Thank you, Horatio.
Oki says, adjustable sword frames works well on shortened, but they do have their disadvantages. More disadvantages than advantages.
Is it April the 1st? Yeah, we'll have to have a think about this.
Okay, perhaps we won't sell them then. Thank you, Horatio.
Oh, Victoria likes hers.
There we go. Horses for courses. I've got one you're going to have for half price. Thank you, Claire. All right, we're going to go. We're going to go and see if we manage to sell our house.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, hang on. Saying that, June's ringing.
Is she?
Yes,
oh,
she is. Right.
Okay. I'm going to...
Bye,
guys. I'm going to love you and leave you. I'm going to answer this call. Hello.
Right, Louise is off. They're going to turn off her microphone. I've turned off her microphone, so we won't hear what's going on. So everyone, thank you all very much for joining us this afternoon. Louise has had to disappear on a very urgent call, whether we sold our house or not. Hope we have. Join us again next week, the 17th of March. What are we on? January. Join us next week, 17th of January, for the next Q&A. Don't forget, workshops, soldering workshop, 24th of January, 31st of January, just to get us back on track. We're going to be talking about soldering. I want you to contact Louise at andrewberry.co.uk regarding your soldering problems. Perhaps you've got a little tip that makes soldering easier. Perhaps you've got some problems when it comes to soldering, some specific technical issues when it comes to soldering. Please do let us know and we'll happily incorporate them into our 2-day workshop all about soldering. Just quickly looking here, good luck with the house. Thank you very much indeed. Excellent Q&A. Thank you, brilliant. Fingers crossed the house. Yes, fingers crossed. I'm not quite sure, can't really hear what's going on. I'm concentrating on you guys. So right, join us next Monday for the next Q&A, 4 p.m, 17th of January. We'll be putting out on social media regarding the workshops, the 24th and 31st of January, to let you know all about our soldering. Don't forget, if you're not an At The Bench member, you will be able to join up for the soldering workshops. But if you are a paid member of At The Bench, you can get all these workshops for free. They are incorporated in with your membership, which is an absolute bargain if you ask me. So everyone, thank you all very much for joining us again. As Lara says, thank you all. Like this video as well before you leave, really would appreciate it. Thank you to the 140 people who've been watching this afternoon. Thank you all very much indeed. Until next Monday, everyone, take care. Love you all. Have a lovely week, and we will see you next Monday.
You think that's a good idea? I mean, I haven't asked Andrew, but I think
Maybe. We'll let you know next week. Everyone, take care. We'll see you next week. Bye-bye for now.